Hey everyone, IcyCat here. Today was the world premiere for Operation Blood Orchid's demonstration and reveal. We finally got a chance to see all the new operators, gadgets, and weapons in action on the new map. If you missed the several hour long live stream event, then don't worry because I'm going to summarize it all over the next few minutes. Let's start by going over the new map theme park. Set in an abandoned Hong Kong amusement park, this map is composed of several sections. Each quadrant of the structure has its own theme. The first side of the ground floor is referred to as the arcade section. This is where you'll find lots of the arcade and vending machines with supporting rooms. There's lots of Easter eggs in here with an arcade cabinet featuring a fourth wall-breaking Rainbow Six arcade game, and another arcade machine featuring a high score and gamer tag in honor of a player in the Rainbow community that passed away recently. There might be even more Easter eggs than that, but already those are some pretty cool ones. Directly above that, on the second floor, is the Daycare Areas. These are smaller overall than the floor below. It's one section and is completely open, allowing views of the arcade section down below for vertical, multi-level gunplay. There's only a few rooms up here and lots of hallways, so it should be pretty easy to keep your bearing in this section of the map. The center of the map is connected by a monorail station and will be a main high traffic area for rotation as well as entry. The other half of the building ditches the somewhat lighter themes of the first half and things get a little bit creepier. Upstairs is lots of areas covered in cultist graffiti and other themes. There's several trapdoors over here and good distribution of rooms in a clustered layout. Below this section on the ground floor is the haunted house area. This will be the most heavily themed part of the map, with lots of set dressings like gargoyle statues, mummies, creepy hallways, and areas lit by flickering candlelight. As you can see, regardless of which section of the map you're in, there are lots of deep shadows and great hiding spots. This is going to be a literal playground for sneaky Caveta players to get the drop on people. There's a total of 4 staircases, plus a couple of hatches on the roof, but there's not really any exterior wall breaches into the structure, except for one over in the monorail station. The map may be slightly in favor of defenders, but roaming might be tricky if you don't know where attackers are pushing in from, as it's easy to get too spread out on this map if you just run all over the place. Moving on to the new operators. There's not much here that we didn't already know if you've been following my other videos, but we do get to see the new characters and their abilities on display in the game to go with that info. Lesion is the newest defender from the Hong Kong CTU. He throws poisonous mines that invisibly cloak themselves. He starts out with a couple, and then as the round goes on, every 30 to 40 seconds or so, he gets a new one to deploy. It's almost like he's assembling them as the round goes on or something. He gets up to a maximum of 7 total. These mines also appear on his HUD so he can see if one gets stepped on or destroyed, and as such almost acts like an improvised motion sensor. He then knows where an attacker must be and can either push on that position or relay the info to the rest of his team. The poison mines cause 10 damage on the onset when you first step on them, and they turn the edges of the screen green. They will continue to do damage over time until you pull the dart out of your leg, but the animation for doing so will leave you vulnerable for a few seconds while you do it. While you're poisoned, you also cannot sprint until the dart is removed. His mines can be detected by IQ or destroyed by Thatcher, or you can just shoot them if you can find them. He has either a 6-round suppressed shotgun or SMG. Besides his backup pistol, he has secondary gadgets in impact grenades or deployable shield, making him an effective counter-rushing operator. Lesion is a 2-speed, 2-armor character. Then there's the Hong Kong attacker Ying. Her gadget is the Candela Cluster Charge. It can be deployed on walls just like Fuse's Cluster Charge, but set with a variable timer rather than a manual trigger. In addition to that, she can roll the mines on the floor to go under barricaded doors or through drone vents. A variable timer can be used when rolled, just like when it's anchored to the walls. It can also sort of hug the wall when tossed against it. If there's any barbed wire in the way, it will slow the roll speed down, and Jaeger's ADS units will protect against the cluster charges if they have line of sight on them. Besides that, Ying can also quickly throw the Candela charge just like a traditional flashbang and hurry if she needs to. Ying's visor grants her immunity to her own flash charge, so she can follow in right behind it without accidentally blinding herself, though she is still blinded by normal flashbangs or devices, just not her own. She's a 2-speed, 2-armor operator and has a choice between an 80-round drum-fed LMG or a 6-round shotgun, though unlike Lesion, hers is not suppressed. Besides her sidearm, she will have a choice of either claymores or smoke grenades. Finally is the Polish defender Ella. Her gadget is the proximity concussion mines. She can throw out 4 of these mines. They stick to surfaces so you can place them on walls, floors, ceilings, wherever you want. If you don't like the placement, you are able to pick it back up and redeploy it. You can also do that with Lesion's mines too. Her mines cause no damage, but they do have a disorientation effect similar to the one caused by Echo's drone blast. The vision gets swimmy, but there isn't really any difference if you stop moving or not, as it will last for the same amount of time. Her mines can be spotted by IQ or destroyed by either Twitch or Thatcher's EMP grenades. Ella also has a special down but not out mechanic by keeping a 5th mine on her. Now she can't throw this one out, and it can only be used in the DBNO state. If someone comes close enough to finish her off, she can set off that charge and disorient the attacker, hopefully giving her teammates a little bit more time to get to her and finish off that disoriented attacker. Ella is a 3-speed, 1-armor operator with a choice between a fast 50-round SMG or a shotgun. Her pistol is equipped with a red dot sight built onto the gun. She will be the only operator that gets this. It's going to be unique to her, so it's not just like a new class of a weapon attachment or anything like that. Her secondary gadgets will be barbed wire or impact grenades. So what other changes are coming out this season? Well, actually a lot. Attacker drones are no longer destroyed when throwing out a second one, so you will now be able to have twice as many simultaneous drones, up to 10 at once on a team as long as none of them had gotten shot. Smoke grenades are getting a complete rework, so they should finally be the same thing seen across all players, whereas before, different people would see the smoke distributed differently as it was all rendered on the client instead of on the server, and each person's client rendered it differently. Now we should all be seeing the same kind of smoke across all the clients. There's over 1,000 bug fixes in this patch, actually more than 1,300 overall. This is going to be a big patch to download too. 26 gigabytes on PC, although over 40 gigabytes on PC if you're using the HD texture pack, as those have been improved and reworked. On console, you're looking at a 15 gigabyte patch, so leave yourself plenty of time to get it downloaded if you don't have a top tier internet speed. There's also going to be some Season Pass exclusive skins for the new operators' uniforms. And of course, we'll also be getting the new optional seasonal skins that we usually do for every new season that comes out. A few days ago, a very controversial change was announced that limited the ranked map pool to only 9 playable maps per season. This mirrored the Pro League map pool, and then they wanted to limit the casual maps to only 15 per season. They were also going to be removing Favela and Yacht from the game entirely for the season so that they could be reworked, as well as restricting the new map theme park to casual only, so you wouldn't have the new map available in ranked play. The internet fairly blew up at the restriction of content and the removal of maps, especially when it was announced that while not happening this season, there were long-term plans to completely remove some maps from the game entirely. In the last couple of days, thousands and thousands of posts and comments have been directed at Ubisoft on the official forums, Reddit, Twitter, and Facebook, and, well, they had this to say.
You guys have worked a lot on the maps and on the operators, and before I turn to you, Olivier, I want to just talk to the community, just to address something that has been coming up. Obviously, a few days ago, we announced that there will be new map rotations, and I just want to say that we've heard your feedback. We really do. I get it in my Twitter, I get it in my DM, I see it on the main channel, I see it on Reddit, and we hear you, and as soon as we get back to Montreal, we will be sort of evaluating that feedback and seeing what the key issues are.
So does that mean that these proposed changes may not go into effect after all? Well, it just means that they're going to be thinking about it. But it also means that they're hearing most of the community is not very happy about having access to the game content restricted on pre-selected map pools or having some maps completely unavailable. Many people are suggesting things like the ability to have a map vote system like most other popular FPS games use before the match launches, or suggesting a separate Pro League ranked playlist for people that do like to play under Pro League rules while maintaining ranked as it is for other people. They may or may not take any of these suggestions, or in fact do anything at all about it. All we do know is that they've heard the community outcry over the proposed decision to restrict and remove content, and they're going to reevaluate how they might do it going forward. One of the biggest things we'll be seeing in the overall game is a complete reworking of the lighting on all maps. In the example clips, you can see how they've really gone through and changed that overpowering light bloom effect that really creates an inability to fire from an area flooded by sunlight versus an area that's not. Additionally, skyboxes are getting reworked. This may not sound like a big deal, but before the game engine was being used to dynamically render the lighting effects per map for each time of day. And since the lighting effects are fixed, there wasn't really any reason to use the engine to do that. Now they'll be rendered using high dynamic range-based images. This allows for very similar lighting, significantly higher quality skyboxes, and frees up resources for the game to be able to use in other ways. Texture changes are being reworked as well as operator character models to make things look nicer overall. We're also getting some changes that are as of yet unidentified to IQ and Jackal, and some weapon balancing changes. We'll also finally be seeing the benefits of the upgraded servers this season, with faster tick rates and more accurate hit registration, as well as latency reduction. Many people were assuming that this was going to be fully implemented over Operation Health, but it will be fully functional going into this next season. New servers will be available on PC right away, and no date is given, but soon thereafter on consoles. The entire structure of data in the game is being completely reworked using more efficient file structures and better compression algorithms. This will result in efficiency increases across the board and up to 10% faster game load times. It's also been announced that going forward with a new seasonal patch that it will be released on the PC technical test server the week before the patch goes live on all platforms. This is done to work out any major bugs that come up prior to live release, so we avoid issues like we got with Mira's Windows being broken from the outside for a whole month before it could get fixed back when Velvet Shell first launched. The technical test server build for Year 2 Season 3 launches this Tuesday, August 29th. The live deployment of the season goes out September 5th for everyone, and then those without Season Pass access will be able to buy the new operators after September 12th. Though everyone will have the new map theme park, at least in the casual playlist, from September 5th. So that's a wrap of everything that's happened today from the live stream event and the world premiere of all the information. So what do you guys think about the changes that are coming with Operation Blood Orchid? Are you excited with all this new information, or are you wishing that they did some other things instead? Let me know down in the comments below, or shoot me a message over at IcyCat25 on either Facebook or Twitter. If you haven't already, please do like and subscribe. Make sure you click that notification icon so you are alerted as soon as I put new information up. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.